Take one. What's up, people? It's Jay again. Thank you for viewing my videos. Remember, always subscribe. So I'm here, and I'm here to tell you guys the NBA is back. Well, not really. But I was reading an article yesterday, and on this article from, I believe it was Sporting News. Let me just check my MLB looking at single side options. Should have had that ready, but I guess I did. All right, so again, in that. Hey, welcome back, you guys. Thank you for viewing my videos, and thank you for coming to the channel to view this. And guess what, guys? NBA is back. I'm lying, it's not. But yesterday I was reading an article, and basically the gist of it was really talking about baseball. And it was talking about how baseball is trying to go to this single site location in Arizona and in the logistics of it. Then they got to talking about basketball, and then this got my wheels rolling and thinking about how it could work. So they gave one option for basketball. Well, they gave multiple options, but they gave an option of Las Vegas showing how it could work. And this really got my wheels rolling. So much to the point to where I've done about 2 hours of research this morning, researching how this could work. So as you guys can see, I have my NBA comeback bracket up right now. And right now, this is the seeded positions 1 through 15 for each division. I'd like to give a shout out to Spencer Dinwiddie. I don't know the guy, but he plays for the Brooklyn Nets, and he suggested that they do a 15-team playoff. And so I was like, you know what? That's another thing you could incorporate, because one of the issues that's been brought up countless times is in a comeback, you can't just you don't want preseason. You don't want preseason product on the court. You want full-fledged middle of the season product on the court, especially if you can go straight to a playoffs. But my thing is, if I'm a billionaire owner or a millionaire player, it's going to be hard to convince me to play games when I know all I'm doing is a warm-up game for a week and I'm no longer playing. So why even run the risk of doing this and doing that, putting myself at risk for anything or leaving my family just for this time to only be a warm-up game for another team that's actually going to be in the playoffs. So his 15-team playoffs, I figured out how it could go in a condensed amount of time. So we have these playoffs going from May 1st to the latest at July 1st. I have each round listed at the top. Each round listed at the top tells you what is the best of and which seeds have a bye. So in this one right here, it's a play-in game, similar to the NCAA tournament where you have, I believe, the bottom two seeds playing to try to figure out the 2 16s playing to see who's going to go play the 15. So, or the one or whoever. So here we have the Hawks and the Cavs. They currently sit at the bottom two, and you have the T-Wolves and the Warriors. They currently sit at the bottom two in the West. So they would play for a play-in to see who plays the 3 seed in the next round. In the next round, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 games per division, Eastern Conference and Western Conference, 6 games. With the top 2 seeds having a bye, and it'll be a best of 3 series. So at longest, this series would go May 3rd to the 11th of May. I tried to go in and I looked at each player. I looked at the playoffs last year. I looked at the amount of rest that each team got. Each team on average received about 1.14 days, 1.14, either 1.41 days of rest per game they played in the playoffs last year. So I went through, I looked at it. So basically it equated out to, in this round right here, which we'll call the second round. In the second round, every team received 2 days of rest. Yeah, every team received 2 days of rest in between each game. Best of 3 series, so it's no guarantee that you'll even play the third game. But every team received 2 games of rest. And on this chart, I just went with the top seed proceeding to each round. So just to keep it simple. So as you can see, we made that happen. And then you get to the third round. This is traditional playoffs for basketball, but again, we're in a situation where we're trying to get a condensed season in. We have these players in perimeter to where they're not leaving, no one's coming in. So this is a best of three. We're trying to get these people back to their families, trying to get it safe, make it happen safely, and we're also trying to. It's basically a learning curve, so we're trying to see whether or not this would work. So that's why I did best of three for the first 2 rounds. So for the first 2 rounds, but the third round is the best of three if you get it. So this is the traditional playoffs, your 1 through 8 seeding for each conference. Again, like I said, and now this is where the first 2 seeds would actually come in and play. First 2 seeds would actually come in and play, and it'd be a traditional setup to where one would play the lowest remaining seed, two would play the next lowest remaining, and then you get it, so on and so forth. Um, yeah, so it's your basic playoffs, best of three, and then you go to the next round, the fourth round, and that'll go to best of five, and that would run from May 21st to May 31st. And in between each round, I tried to give him a day of rest in between each round. So that'll go from May 21st to May 31st, and you know, I also each day of it you'd have. So in the second round, you'd have 4 games a day. In the third round, you'd have 4 games a day again. And in the fourth round, it would be 2 games a day. So I have it listed to where the first day of the playoffs, the Eastern Conference 2 and 3 would play, and the 2 and 3 for the Western Conference would play on the first day for the fourth round, and then the 1 and 4 would play on the second day for both conferences respectively. Of course, the NBA would come in; they would do their own magic and make whatever they make work. And for the third round, I have the 1 and the 8 seed for both conferences playing on the first day, along with the 4 and the 5 seed. And then on the second day, it'll be the 2 and the 7 seed and the 3 and the 6 seed, respectively, for each conference. And then the second round, which has the 3 seed coming into the playoffs. The second round, I have the 4 and the 13 for each conference, and the 6 and the 11 playing on the first day. On the second day, it will be the 5 and the 12 and the 7 and the 10 playing. And on the third day, it'll be the 3 and the lowest remaining seed, and the 8 and the 9, and then you go back and make it happen. So everyone gets adequate rest, and it ends on a decent amount of time. Then we get to the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference Finals. Again, like I said, just have the top seed advance and making it easy. You'd go best of five in this, just trying to make sure the playoffs end by July 1st, trying to get everybody in and out by July 1st. You go best of five. You go best of five in this situation. Same thing, I have best of five in that situation. Only difference is I went along with the format for last year, so I have June 2nd. I have the Eastern Conference Finals on the 2nd, the 4th, the 7th, the 9th, and the 12th, and I have the Western Conference Finals on June 3rd, the 5th, the 8th, the 10th, and the 13th, trying to keep with the rest schedule that they had last year. And now we're to the finals. And on the finals, I kept the exact same schedule that they had last year. So I have the finals starting on June 16th. So 3 days after the conference finals ended, after the NBA finals starting on the 16th, they get a day of rest. Then they play game 2. And then same thing as last year, they get 2 days of rest, and then they play game 3. Same thing as last year, they get a day of rest, and they play game 4. And if it's not over, then it goes on to 5, 6, and 7. So I did a lot of research, like I said, and really looked around, tried to get some reputable articles and some reputable information to figure out whether or not this truly could work. So one of the things that I liked about the article, like I said, they brought up Las Vegas. They brought up the fact that the Aces played in the Las Vegas Aces with the WNBA. They played in the MGM Grand Arena Convention Center. I went a step further. So you have the T-Mobile. So the whole strip is closed right now, from what I understand. The strip is closed. So you can create a very strong perimeter to where no one gets in and no one gets out around what you see here. So I have the T-Mobile Arena, I have the MGM Grand, and I have the Thomas Mack Center. Along with the Thomas Mack Center is the Cox Pavilion, which is attached to it. So What I have is you could have the potential for two games being played at the same, two arenas having games on a given day, and on the same day, two arenas not having games, and that would be practice facilities for teams. I hope you follow me on that. I know that was a mouthful. So two arenas would host games. The other two arenas would be practice facilities on a given day. And then on the next day, the other two arenas would host games, and the other two would be practice facilities. Or you could just keep it clean, and you could say T-Mobile Arena and the Thomas Mack Center will be game arenas, and the Cox Pavilion and the MGM facility will be practice facilities for the teams, to where they would each get their time frame to where they could come in and practice and things of that sort. Again, like I said, I haven't thought this all the way out. I'm not a professional. I'm not around the league every day, so of course, there's probably people out there smarter than me on this issue. But just a couple of things that I came up with. So, according to 2014, the NBA bench consisted of, I believe it's 15 players. You can have 3 assistants, an athletic trainer, and a head coach. You get and the behind the bench, each team has assistants, is what the article said. So I went ahead and said 4: a video coordinator, an advanced scout, assistant trainer, and security. And then I went a step further, and I got each team. With the given circumstances that we have right now, we don't want to take any first responders away for something. While basketball may seem like a necessity or something to get our minds off it, we don't want to take first responders away. So what I did was I said, we have people out there that are volunteer EMTs that have qualifications or whatever the case may be. So we can have a facility. We can have each team. They get matched up with 2 volunteer EMTs, to where if anything were to happen, God forbid someone breaks their legs or something, they need to be taken to the hospital, whatever the case may be. The role that the normal city EMTs would have played, we can now have that same thing done by 2 volunteer EMTs that will be paid by the league. And of course, they will have to stay within this perimeter throughout this time. I gave each of the networks that broadcast the NBA playoffs and finals 20 personnel, TV crew, and camera guys and things of that sort to record. So that's 100 TV crew personnel. Last year, the playoffs had 36 referees and 4 alternates. So that's a total of 40. So, again, like I said in my research I did, the Script is closed. MGM is currently closed. The MGM Grand has 6,852 rooms total. In all, with 6,852 rooms total, you have 1,140 if you do the math on everything I said as far as personnel. I don't know the team's ownership structure, so if they have an ownership group, 5 owners can come, 1 GM, 1 assistant GM, and then the bench players, the 2 volunteer EMTs. That totaled out to 1,140 total NBA personnel. Total, just the NBA. You know what I didn't include in that? So we'll go a cool 1,200 on that, actually. So we'll go to cool 1,200 on that because I didn't include the league office and whoever they might want to have in a given situation. So we'll go cool 1,200 right there. You got a total of 40 officials. So 40 officials. So we got our referees taken care of. Then you got your TV crew. So you got 5,512 rooms still available in this hotel, the MGM Grand. So it is very doable to bring in the entire NBA into the shutdown hotel. Ensure that they have clean tests, that they have the capabilities to test and have rapid results on the coronavirus testing kits. Make sure they have the rapid testing kits to where they can find out the results in an adequate amount of time, to where before you come into this perimeter, we know you're clean. So that way we're not bringing it into anyone that doesn't have it, or we're not letting someone in that has it, and you get the point. So like I said, this thing goes from May 1st until July 1st. So that's June, July. So that's 2 months of total quarantine right now. They would be doing this for us, making sure, bringing back a sense of normalcy to our lives, and also being not the guinea pig, but, the guinea pig for the sports leagues with this single site situation that's being pitched around, thrown around by multiple sports leagues and commissioners trying to figure out how it goes. Like I said, I heard it yesterday. I read an article and it got my mind wondering. I started punching numbers, trying to figure out how it goes and figure out what you could actually get done. You would have, like I said, you'd actually have to have a perimeter set up um, around what you would consider the players. The only thing that I ran into an issue on, like I said, this street right here, this is a straight line from the Thomas Mack Center Cox Pavilion, straight line to the MGM Grand, straight line to the T-Mobile Arena, all which is on the strip except for this. You could easily shut down the street, much like you would do for a parade or something of that sort, to where for 2 months nobody could go through it. And of course, unless the the quarantine lifted, the quarantine orders were lifted, then at that point, hey, everything's back to normal. We love it. But if it doesn't get lifted, you will quarantine this for 2 months. You have this area over here where it's Harbor Island Apartments or whatever the case may be. They're still able to access whatever they need to get to going this way. Whatever's in here, they can access whatever they need to get to going this way. So everyone has access to get to what they need to get to. It's not like we shut down anything. We're not shutting down anything necessary, any necessities. We're not limiting access to anything. The only thing that will have limited access are things that already are limited, such as the MGM Grand, the T-Mobile Arena, things that you can't go to anyway. The leagues would already, it would be much like they're operating in their own city, is what they would be doing. Um, um, yeah, I thought about this. Like I said, any suggestions, anything that you guys think might be better or another way to have it happen, let me know. Leave your comments below on what you think about my actual thought process. Like I said, my mind got to running yesterday. As soon as I heard it, as soon as I read the article, my mind got running, and I woke up this morning and I went straight to work just trying to figure out how this could work. I love sports, so for me personally, it's nothing I want more than to see some sports on TV. Just give me a little sense of normalcy. I'm sitting in here crying. I'll watch baseball right now. Like that's what I need in my life. But hey, thanks for watching. Please let me know what you think. Leave your comments below, and as always, please subscribe.